we are going to be working on second step today. So we're going to be doing our lesson 3. Honey, can you move to that side? Because I'm going to have to be walking like back and forth right here. Thank you, Lily. Okay, so more than practice. So we have been talking about the networks in our brain and what they do. Oops. Okay, let's give it a second. Okay, so we have been talking about what happens in our brain, how it creates network when we're learning something new. Okay, so that's what we've been talking about in learning in second step. So today we're going to continue that. Oh my god. Oh boy, okay. We can restart now or restart right now.
Restart now and maybe they can do some of the
Okay. Okay, so while we wait for that to restart, I want us to think about a time where I want you to think about a time where something was really hard for you to do, and even though you practice and practice and practice, it was still a little hard for you. I want you to think about that. So show me that you're thinking. Show me that you're thinking about that. Good. Okay. So what I want you to do is maybe to the person next to you, maybe kind of share with them the one thing that you were having like trouble with, and no matter how much you practice, you were still having trouble with that. So I'm gonna give you a minute or so to do that. Yes, Jason.
I don't have a part.
Oh, you could turn around and be there with Eli, or you could join Elijah and Saul. Either one. Then Harmony, you can join with Aiden. Natalia, you could come up here and tell me. So you could come up here and tell me. Lily, you can turn to Gabriel. You can tell Gabriel. You two are fine right there. Okay. What was that takes a lot of good coordination. Were you able to make it a Okay. Okay, so let's go with, so show me a quiet hand. Okay, good, perfect. Okay, so now that we've talked about that, you gotta talk with your partner. Brian's not here. Lily, can you tell me what you talked about? Where's Lily? What did you and your partner talk about?
I talked about when I had a hard time getting a claw machine, like a stuffed toy for my older sister.
Uh-huh.
And I kept trying, and then I got her one.
Oh, okay. Good. Okay, that's a good story to share. Gabriel, what did you and your partner talk about?
For the thing that went up, like, I couldn't think of anything, but and then they wanted to share first.
Okay, so you couldn't think of anything? So Lily, what did you share?
Oh, I shared with them.
You shared with them? Okay, well, yeah, you were supposed to share with Gabriel. So I'm sorry, Gabriel, you couldn't think of anything, but maybe as we go through the lesson, you'll think of something. Natalia, can you see if Mrs. Rivera's outside?
She said she was going to be in the office.
She's going to be in the office. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so.
LOL.
Okay, I forgot the password, so that's like. Do you know the password? Yes, honey. Isn't it Real Vista or something like that?
Oh yeah. It's not admin.
No.
Admin. It's for the tests.
No.
It's Real Vista with the like Real Vista like with the regular automatic.
Okay, so Real Vista. And I know there's a number somewhere in there.
Lowercase lowercase number, Rio Vista 4. It's like 4.
4. Alright, let's see. Okay, no, that is not it. Okay, hold on. Let me text Mrs. Rivera and ask her what the password is.
I think it's Rio Vista.
I know it's Rio Vista, honey, but I know that there's a number in there somewhere. I'm just not too sure what the number was. Okay, show me a quiet hand. Thank you. Okay, while I text Mrs. Rivera, I want you with your same partner to talk about what you remember from the last second step lessons, okay? So while I do that, I want you to go ahead and do that for me, okay? So turn to your partner, and Lilith, make sure that you're sharing with Gabriel also, okay? That's very important. Yes, honey. You don't? Okay. Well, that's not fair. Okay, what about, how do our brains... Okay, all right, so let's turn back this way. Okay, so I can't, so we're gonna have to skip the video, the one that we do, the brain builder. Well, I know, well, yes, honey. I don't, oh, here we go. Wait, Miss Rivera came through, yay. Yay.
What is it?
Okay, yay.
Yeah. What was the password?
I didn't hear the password.
I think it's God.
Okay. Okay, great. Thank you. Yeah, so now we're, oh my God. Okay. Okay, now let's see if we can get back there. Okay, show me a quiet hand. I know we're excited because we're gonna get to do second step. Okay, show me a quiet hand. Gabriel, show me a quiet hand. Okay, I need you guys to pay attention. I know we're super excited. I'm just as excited as you are, but we still gotta stay on task, okay? So let's finish doing that. Okay, so let's get to this now. So we're gonna be able to do our brain break. So okay, so remember, what we're gonna do is you're gonna be tapping on your lap, okay? On your lap. Okay, show me a quiet hand. Show me a quiet hand. Okay, thank you. Okay, so remember, we're gonna be doing it. You don't have to model it, okay? We know what to do.
So you know the brain builder.
Okay, it's not time to tap yet. Okay, wait. Show me a quiet hand.
Build your brain with
We're
level
not
one
pounding our
of a
feet.
game
We're not
called
doing that,
Cards
please.
in Common. In a moment, you'll see a set of 4 cards on the screen. Each card will have a picture on it. You need to put the cards in groups based on what they have in common. You don't need to use all the cards at the same time. Talk with your partner about ways you can group the cards until time is up. Here's an example to help you understand how to play. In this example, you might tell your partner you could group the flower and the bird together because they're both red. Your partner might say you could put all 4 cards in a group together because they're all things that grow. Each time you think of a new grouping, share it with your partner, okay? Try it with me now.
Oh, I hear a lot of good conversation. Good job. Okay, Natalia, do you want to sit on this side? Yes, you can come She's wearing a skirt, honey, so she'd rather sit. Okay, did we decide? Okay, honey, you can come share with me, okay? Is that it for the video? Oh, okay. Show me a quiet hand. You want to sit right there so you can be closer? Okay. Okay, so let's take a look at this picture that we have right here. Okay, so remember that the last time we talked about Cody and how he was learning to shoot baskets and how it was a little difficult for him, and then with practice he learned, right? So remember we talked about that? Okay, so with that being said, what happens to our networks when we practice? Elisandro, what happens? Yeah, it gets better and better, right? Okay, so remember how earlier we talked about if you've ever felt frustrated because, or no, we didn't talk about being frustrated, but we talked about how if there was something that you just really struggled doing, no matter how much you practice, you still kind of struggled. Okay, so how many of you felt frustrated because you weren't getting better at that? Just give me a thumbs up. Yeah, sometimes that happens to us. So, and we talked about how sometimes that has happened to you. Some of you gave me some very, very good examples about that. So, sometimes we don't get better with practice alone. Sometimes we have to use other ways to get better at something. And we're going to learn about 2 ways today for our second step lesson of those things that we can do. Okay? Okay, so now let's take a look at what we have right here. Okay, so this is Trey. Okay, so Trey is learning how to draw from his comics. Okay, so he's learning how to do it, but he's kind of getting a little sad because it's not coming out like the way that his comics look. So he's like, this is not coming out like the way like my comics look. Okay, so then he notices his friend here, which is Mason. He notices that Masons are looking really, really nice. So he tells him, oh, how did you get so good, Mason? So Mason tells him that what he does is that he keeps doing it over and over and over again. And as he's doing it, they get a little bit better and better each time that he does it. So he's just repeating the process over and over again. Okay, so Trey decides, you know what, I'm gonna try that. So he goes and gets a fresh piece of paper and he starts doing that. So that he starts doing exactly what Mason did. So he kind of learned from Mason that if he keeps trying and if he keeps doing something over and over again, little by little, he's going to get better. Okay, now let's see. Okay, so when Trey, so he talked about that, how he didn't get so good. And he told him, so we talked about how he did that. And then so for him doing that, what did Mason tell him? How did he get better? Natalia, how did he get better? Yeah, he kept practicing over and over again. So he went ahead and he tried the same thing. Okay, now we got another one. This is Kayla. Okay, so just by looking at this picture right here, we see a paper airplane. So what she learned from her friend, I believe his name was Sam. She learned from Sam how to make a
Paper?
Thank you. She learned how to make a paper airplane. But what was happening was that when she would throw it, it would go straight, and then it would come straight down. So she's like, why does this keep happening? So what she decides to do is she's like, you know what? Let me try something else. You remember how we talked about that we should try to find another way? So she's like, you know what? Let me do something. So she decides to kind of bend the wings a little bit. So she's like, let's try that. So she gets it, she throws it, and it's going, and then it crashes down again. So she's like, like, what am I doing wrong? So she has this idea. It's like the light went on. So she has this idea. So what she does is that she takes a paper clip and she puts it at the end of it, at the tip of it, because she saw that from it crashing down, it was like all like kind of like bent. So she's like, let me fix it with the paper clip. So with the paper clip, she slides it right here and she clips it. And then she's like, okay, let me try this. She gets it and she throws it, and this time it actually glides. So she's super excited and she's like, you know what? I figured it out. I figured out another way to do it. Okay. So she's, like we said, she's like, yeah, I did it. So she's gonna go tell Mason, I'm sorry, I'm thinking of the other side. She's gonna go tell Sam, look, I did it. Look at what I did. Okay, so she learned from this one that there's sometimes we find multiple ways to do something to get better at it. And that's what she did. She used the paperclip to get better at it. Okay, so now I want to check your thinking. Okay, so let's see, and I just gave you one of the answers, so let's see if you remember. Zoe, when Kayla felt like she wasn't getting better, what did she do? Good, it worked out. She found a different way. She didn't necessarily practice doing the paper plane over and over again, like making it, right? She didn't necessarily do that. She just found another way to do it. Okay, so let's see now. Now this one I want you to really think about. Okay, Harmony. Where's Harmony at? Oh, there you are, honey. Okay, I want you to think about how did trying the new ways help her? How did that help her?
By trying new ways.
Yeah, she tried new ways and it helped her, right? Okay, good. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is I want you to think about, and we see different pictures here. I want you to think about things that are challenging for you, okay? So think of something that's just challenging. It could be anything. It could be that maybe like, and I know that's a little challenging for me. When I'm playing pickleball with some of you, I kind of have a hard time, with the ball sometimes. So maybe it could be that. It could be maybe you have a hard time maybe learning some of your multiplication tables. It could be anything like that. Okay, so what I want you to do is you're gonna turn to the person next to you that you have been partners with, and you're just gonna tell them one thing that is challenging for you. So what is one thing that is challenging for you that you're currently learning right one thing that I find challenging is trying to master pickleball. That's very hard. Okay, show me a quiet hand. Show me a quiet hand. Okay, thank you. Let's put our hands down. Okay, let's see now, Matthew. What is something you're learning that's challenging for you that you talked about right now?
Playing with dog, but he's too fast.
He's too fast. Is he a puppy? Yeah, he's a puppy. Puppies are usually pretty quick. They get the zoomies. Okay, Saul, can you tell us something that you're learning that's a little challenging for you? You know everything. Oh, I'm sure there's some you gotta be. I'm gonna come back to you. You don't know? Okay, that's okay not to know. Okay, so now what I want you to do with your partner is that I want you to think about that challenging thing that you're learning that's a challenge, and I want you to tell your partner, what are you doing to practice that? Okay, so go ahead and turn to your partner and tell them. So what are you doing to get Good job. Okay, show me a quiet hand. Show me a quiet hand. Okay. Now, okay, so I'm gonna call on somebody. Nicole, can you tell me what you're doing to practice on this thing that's challenging? Well, first, what's challenging? What was challenging? You think you could do it, but what are you doing to get better at it? You're practicing. I like that. Okay, Davina, what are you doing to get better at the one thing that's challenging? Okay, that's good. Okay, now notice how in the video, well, the slides that we saw, notice how Trey learned something from Mason, right? He learned a new way that he can get better at drawing his comics. So what I want you to do is think of somebody and tell your partner who is somebody that you think can help you, who you can learn from. Like you can learn a new way from that person. Okay, so turn to your partner. Is there somebody you can which I think I see pretty good at pickleball. Okay, show me a quiet hand. Alright, good job. I hear a lot of good stuff, and I'm learning a lot of stuff from Natalia too, so that's really awesome. I'm learning just like you guys. Okay, Isabella. Okay, so who is somebody that you can learn from? You can learn a new way from. What did you tell your partner? Okay, but remember, this was about you and something that's challenging for you. And please, whoever's pounding on the floor, can you please stop? Because okay, I don't need to know who it is, but we need to stop doing that because we do have class next door and we don't want to disturb them, please. So please do not do that. Okay, Isabella, the assignment was that you were supposed to talk about something that was challenging for you and somebody that you can learn from. Okay, so it's kind of important that we're listening and that we're following those directions. Okay. Lilith, can you tell us somebody?
Rob.
You can learn from Robert. Okay, well that's good. I was telling Natalia that I'm having trouble with pickleball, so I felt like the person I could learn from is Aiden, because Aiden looks like he's really good at it. So good job, Aiden. I can learn from you. And then Natalia, who did you tell me that you can learn from? Okay, let's focus this way. Her brother that's 17 because she's learning how to play soccer. Okay, now for the last question. What you're gonna do is you're gonna turn to your partner and you're gonna tell him about some other ways that you have tried, other ways that you've thought of trying to master that challenge. Okay, what are some ways that you thought Okay, show me a quiet hand. Thank you, Isabella, for showing me a quiet hand. Lilith, Robert, Gabriel, show me a quiet hand. Thank you. Okay, let's put our hands down. Okay, so let's see. Ethan, and please, I don't know who's doing that pounding. I keep hearing it. As I was talking to Dalia, I heard it again. This is my second time saying for you not to be pounding on the floor like that. Okay, I shouldn't have to tell you more than once. Okay? Okay, Ethan, can you tell us what are some ways that you could try? Or that you are trying?
Tetherball.
Okay, tetherball, you're learning how to play tetherball, you're learning to get better at it, is that what you're telling me?
And football.
And football, okay, cool, I like that. So is there something that you're doing or you can do to get better at football? Keep practicing, and you can learn from others if you're playing like on a team. Okay, Eli. Oh, there you are. Okay, do you want me to come back?
Wait, are we talking about what
No, honey, the direction was, and I think because you and Camila were probably talking and not being focused, the question was that what is a way that what are you doing as a way to get better at something?
Oh, I'm trying to get better at like pickleball because I haven't played it in a long time.
Okay.
Because like when I tried to hit like I used to, it would go far, and now I try to and it's
Okay, that's good. Okay, boys and girls, so remember, the two things we can do when we're learning something new is we can learn from somebody, and the other one is we can try a new way. So this week, I want you to do one of those things. I want you to either try to find a new way to do something that's challenging, or maybe learn from somebody, okay? Okay, so let's get ready to go to recess. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dismiss you by table so we could line up after. Oh wait, before we do that, when we come back from recess, we are going to be working on our our multiplication of the day, okay, when we come back, okay? So you'll have your agenda, what we're doing next. So can table 1, can you please go ahead and line up? Okay, show me a quiet hand. That doesn't mean for us to talk. We're gonna sit quietly. Remember, it's your recess time. Okay. Table 2, you may line up. Excuse me, Lily. Sorry, honey.